all there. She didn't respond at all, did she? She was just lying there, Brian, exhausted after calling once. And just see her eyes moving slightly. And Aaron, you turned up your headphones there in New Zealand and you say it was amazing. It is. It really is a heart-stopping sound, especially if you are in the dark of an African night with just the odd star providing prickles of light overhead. But to hear that in the pitch-black darkness when you can't see anything is just an astounding sound. Now, is this the mother? Well, I don't know. It could be. She's come out of Torchwood, which we know is the area where the cubs are, but we won't know that until she flips over and we can see whether she's suckling or not. I'm just going to talk to Mike on the radio. He's trying to get in here. Go ahead, Mike. No, Mike, it's on Quarry Pan Road, so come from Buffelshoek Dam towards Quarry Pan Road.
Okay, copy that, thank you.
Yeah, she can hear a lion calling again, definitely. That's why she's picked her head up. Now, I can't hear that from where I'm sitting. So she's very clearly got much, much better ears than we do. Let's just see what she does. Yeah, she's heard another one calling. See if she responds. There we go. Isn't that just fantastic? And I don't know if you could hear it. I mean, it's slightly not as loud, or slightly less loud than a male's call, but it's unbelievably impressive. And the other thing that, I mean, each lion has got a fairly distinctive sort of tone to their call, and they can recognize each other's calls. But one of the distinctive things about her call is that when she breathes in again, her entire rib cage, you can hear it moving. It goes, boom. So she breathes out, she exhales and pushes the air out through her voice box, and it makes a tremendous rasping sound. Then as she sucks the air in again, you can actually hear her rib cage moving back, going kind of thumping back into place. And that'll be distinctive to her. I've not heard it in another lioness. And I heard a lion call on the weekend at Pinder, a big male lion. And he had a kind of, you know, when they get to the end of their call and they go, oh, oh, oh. He had a kind of double at the end. He went, oh, 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 oh. So he was completely distinctive. She's not very impressed by my impression there, Brian. You see that?
Yeah, I did.
Rank amateur is what her eyes said to me there. So we've got a fairly dim light on her, everyone, and that's because unless she's moving through the bush and we're desperately trying to keep with her, it's much better to just leave her in slightly dimmer light rather than put this very bright spotlight on her. So her colour is not quite what you think it is. Might be time for a picular, Brian. Hello, Mike. While we wait and see if she doesn't call again before we have to leave you, you want to know how far can a lion walk in the night? Well, Mike, a lion can walk far. In this area, they don't walk very far. And this area probably no more than 5 kilometers or so, which is really impossible. I really have to work out my conversions again. Say 3.5 miles, Mike. Be unlikely that she'd move much more than 3.5 miles in a night. But potentially, I mean, in an area like the Kalahari, you'll find big male lions moving at least sort of, I don't know, up to 25 kilometers sometimes, which of course is, well, that's pretty far. Yes. Jamie's still looking to see if she can't find the other one, because it keeps calling from somewhere around Vuyatela Dam. And in fact, the other lioness has created a great conflagration of people trying to find. And somebody else is coming this way. Yes, you can see she's sorry, you can hear that she's calling. Now, stations just come straight down Gwaripan Road. You'll get us visual on the eastern side of the road. I hope she calls again. It is just the most wonderful sound. And it's territorial. People often say, oh, is she hunting when she starts roaring? Which, of course, if you think about it, is not really sensible, because they're stalking hunters. She doesn't want to let everyone know that she's around, so she's clearly not hunting. And from her, sort of the fact that she's alone and she's looking around and listening, it tells me that she's trying to find where the rest of the pride are. The fact that she's not moving towards them makes me think that maybe she is the mother. Does anybody know which female gave birth? I don't think it was Amber Eyes, although I think she was pregnant. So it could well be this one. And I suspect, her torchwood is basically behind her. And I wonder if her reticence to move is because her cubs are there. Here she goes again. So cool. Isn't that lovely? It was a very half-hearted call there, sort of yawn call. And all around us the winter night is starting to sound, so there's very little sound at all. There's just a few crickets. And I can just hear the tip, tip, tip of bats flying above us. But otherwise, very quiet. And she's listening. I think she'll start to move at some stage during the night. Well, she doesn't look that enthusiastic about movement at the moment. Here we go. I don't know, Brian, did you hear the ribs going chink, chink? Yeah. You hear that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the cartilage in her ribs sort of slipping back.
Yeah, after every roll. Ooh,
yeah. And that's very distinctive. I've not heard it before. So that'll distinguish her. If we hear a lion calling in the distance, that's who we'll know. That's how we'll know if it's her or not. So here come two other vehicles, which is absolutely fine. Especially as it made her show us her pretty face like that. Oh, and there's a Scops owl calling behind us. Move straight in, guys. Come around the back of me, and then you'll get a good view. So that's just me talking on the radio. If you are a new viewer, we are in constant radio contact with a number of other game drives that drive on this reserve and on other reserves. And so when we find sightings, we share them, and likewise everyone else shares the sightings that they have as well. Move forward with pleasure if you want.
Thank you very much.
Let's see if she calls again, everyone. It'll be a nice closing for our drive. Oh, here we go. Let's look underneath her. She doesn't seem to have very swollen teeth. Move back a bit so that Mike's guests can see. Now everybody, just before we leave you, which will be in 1.5 minutes, remember tomorrow morning we're going to start half an hour later, so the drive will start at 6:30 our time. The intimidating number of time zones that you all exist in precludes me telling you what time that will be, but it'll be 30 minutes later than we had today. And that will probably be for the next 60 days or so as we go towards August. Now I'm not going to move because we've only got a minute left, and let's just see if she calls nicely again. She's obviously decided to position here better the other lions that have been calling. Wonderful picture there. Alright everyone, that's going to be it from us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 06:30. Thank you, Brian, for your efforts today. Welcome back from leave. Welcome back to Kirsten. Big thank you to Kirsten, of course. Final control with Cheesecake Jerry, and Steph briefly today, and Jamie out with Jean-Andre, I think it was. We'll see you tomorrow at 06:30. Wonderful to be back here in the bush with you, and what a treat to have these lions calling. See you at dawn.